Yep.
All right, welcome everyone to. Oh, we're a little large for our thing. My hat's
Large and in charge.
My hat's going through the ceiling. No, we had Wizen in yesterday, so that shrinks everybody.
Ah.
And today it was just me and Gamera, so now we're much bigger.
I am big in Japan.
Yeah, that's quite true. You are very large in Japan, and technically my class is very large in Greyhawk. So there is that. So welcome everyone. Let's see what we got here. We got Pioneer Girl. Thank you for the check-in. I hope you're having a great night. Then we got, where is it? T Waifu Forevers. All right. Hope you're having a great night. I'm thinking my dude with that name, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Then we got Flupick. Hey, Flupick with the dancing SpongeBobs. Amy Weiler. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing fine. And T Waifu says that they will be here vibing. All right, so that's everyone's hellos. Welcome to the tavern. You were here when the doors were being opened, so you get the nice seats now. And then we got our sponsors, which we have our little advertisers, and that is Shockbite Gaming Servers. The link is down below. They start at $2.50 USD a month, and they go up from there. And they handle a ton of games, including the game I'm going to be playing today, which is Palworld.
Yes, Palworld.
Dubby Energy Drinks is the other. They have a bunch of flavors. My personal favorite is Galaxy Grenade. I just wouldn't recommend their shaker cups. Go for the drinks. They're great. Alright, so there's that. Oh, and I have something to add to the wheel that I forgot about. Let me fix that real quick. Wizen's here.
Announcing himself with pyrotechnics
as usual. Throw the fucking egg! Alright, let me... Alright, and then we have the new topic, which is what do you treasure most in life? I will answer that both in character and out of character. It's Michael J400. Is he like the T1000? Well, I gotta hydrate. I need your clothes and your motorcycle now. Your clothes and your bike, give them to me.
While you're playing on Palworld, I
Yep.
will be tinkering with a solo Minecraft world.
Yep, and let me get to the Palworld. There we go. I've been working on our server for a while on Palworld. I like these little flaming fox wizard things. They look kind of adorable. I like them.
Yeah.
They're
Good
cute.
look.
I wonder if there's other varieties of them. Like, is there an ice one? Is there a plant one? Like, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I have to say I do not know the breadth of the Palworld.
It's Skulls hype.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in
This
this
gun, you see. There's no bullets left in this gun. Man, I'm gonna be so sad when Tim Curry finally passes.
Yeah, end of an era.
It'll be the end of an era. But as much as I love Tim Curry, he is not the big person that I point out and go, there should be a what's the word I'm looking for? Worldwide Day of Mourning. That is not the person I say that for.
Okay.
Give me a second. Skulls is the uptone of Hype and Energy. Rainbow Six Siege. With side of squats from hot challenges like Epic Subathons. Grind to Good Vibes. Whether there's a story marathon in Injustice 2. That's a fun game. Climbing the ranks of Overwatch. Every stream is a party. Special guest QA, stuff like that. For me, it's the person I was talking about was David Attenborough.
Oh, okay.
sorry, Sir David Attenborough. I've been corrected.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah, when he dies, there should be a worldwide day of mourning.
He is one of a kind.
Yeah. Okay, I need to go to my mining camp. But yeah, so there's that. Excuse me as I choke on my damn lungs here. Jesus. I love it when my lungs decide, hey, guess what? Fuck you, buddy. Alright, so now there is something here I need. Where is it? Is it an infrastructure one? Nope. It's gotta be under other. I need 50 ingots. Oh my god.
That does seem like a lot.
Yeah, it is. Go forth, drill turtles, and mine me some ore. BTD Moses! Hey, what up? Hey, what up, dude? I hope you're having a great day. Alright, it's time to make some ingots here. Now, I'm going to be talking with Wizen later about this, but, I am considering, certain, supporters getting access to the Palworld server, as long as they agree to a particular set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, you know, don't be a dick.
That is a good, broad guiding principle for, you know, any interaction, really.
I don't have enough ingots. I have to wait for some ingots. Damn it. I find this funny, like, everything else usually breathes fire. This one is just, like, summoning fire from its hand. Her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And is keeping the forge going.
Nice. Alright, so if I want to build an induction smelter, I'm gonna need Invar.
I believe that's a Wizen. Nope.
Indeed.
Oh, it is a Wizen. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you build your stuff in your little radius from your PAL base, it should be no problem with people being jerks.
Yeah. So, my idea was we open this to those who are subscribers on Twitch or who pay like a particular amount on Ko-fi.
It's your server. I just pay for it.
Yep. So those who do that can get access.
Okay.
So there is that. And of course the big rule being don't be a dick.
Very important rule.
Yeah, if like I don't mind harmless pranking fun. I'm okay with that. But when you cross the line into maliciousness, like stealing or like stealing other people's pals, which apparently that can be a thing.
Seriously?
Oh lord.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's a special pal sphere apparently you can make that allows you to steal other people's own pals. It's not used for PvP in the game mostly. It's actually used to steal the pals of the bosses.
I see.
That's what it was originally meant for. So basically, recapturing the pals from, like, essentially Team Rocket. Which is kind of weird. It's like, hey, guess what? We're Robin Hooding this shit.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yep. Alright, now I have enough. I should be able to build the mining improvement machine for them. So there's that. Alright. So the first thing I was going to bring up in discussion today is the finalization of kind of a saga that's been going on. I don't have enough. Damn it, I need 50, not 20. I misremember that. It's a finalization of a saga that's going on. We mentioned it, I believe, last week with Queen Pones a lot.
Yeah, it's a speedrunner.
Yes, the speedrunner. She got caught recently faking a blind speedrun in, That's true, Pioneer Girl. Subbing doesn't necessarily make someone not to be an asshole. That's true. But we'll also put those anti-asshole rules on the server. So that way, if you're caught being an asshole, I will boot you.
We'll take your money, though.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, she got caught faking a blind speed run in, Warframe.
Wow. Just doubling down on her old trick, huh?
Oh no, this is an older one.
Oh, okay. So once she got caught this time, people went back and started looking at her other stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They found all her other shit. Now, in the defense of Warframe and doing blind speedruns, it is very, very possible to blind speedrun Warframe.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because the game is really, really, really action heavy. And it is very fast.
Okay.
But even if you fall down cliffs or whatever, it just sends you back to the last checkpoint.
Okay.
And you lose like a little bit of resources. Nothing like heinous, but like I don't know how to describe this. Like, it's not like terrible.
Okay.
Like, dying is not... How do I put this? Dying is not painless, but dying is also not, like, catastrophic.
It's not too punishing.
Sorry for entering you guys' convo, but butting in, I go... No, you're fine! This is okay. The whole point of this is to actually engage in conversation, not just with each other, but you as well, like the audience. That would be me. There are rules. I ain't gonna feel bad about booting your ass if you can't follow them. Yep. So, congratulations. You done fucked up.
Sometimes not even that. Sometimes all you do is type / band space username and press enter. And it's over.
Yeah, game over, man. But anyway, so there's more to this story than her getting caught doing the fake Warframe. But, Lamau. And that is, she has now privated all of her videos. She has disabled her Twitter. She's gone dark.
Like, if I go dark for a week, nobody will remember me.
All right. Now, she claims the reason why she went dark are two primary reasons. One, the harassment, she said. Sure. Which, that is legitimate. I mean, if you've been on the internet long enough, as soon as someone calls you out on your shit and you've done something, or even if you haven't done something and someone calls you out on something, you are going to get harassment. It sucks. I wish it wasn't the reality of the internet, but it is.
True. On the other hand, if you're a shithead, accountability can look like harassment sometimes.
This is true. Now, the first point, I can at least give it to her. The second point is more of where I call her a shithead. All right? The second reason why she said she basically privated all her videos and everything was she was tired of other people farming her for content. And I'm like, sitting there going, bitch, that's what you did. You tried to farm Asmongold for content to get him to pay attention to you so that you got popular.
That offends me. Let me record a reaction video about it.
Like, getting attention on the internet goes both ways. It is not a good thing. Entirely. When you get popular, shit gets real. And gets really bad sometimes. It's just like, damn. So, like, her first one, I'd be like, okay, she's getting harassed. That's likely. I can see that. And I can guarantee you some people took it too far.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, I have no doubts on that. I fully believe if that was the only reason why she gave that she was going private, I would not be talking about this today. I would be like, okay, yeah, she's done. She's done her thing. We'll call it a day. Woohoo. She got called a shithead for basically faking something. What made me more aggravated with the Warframe one, though, over the, what was it? The Monster Hunter one, is the Warframe one was for charity.
Oh, man.
Like, what
Lame.
the fuck? Like,
why would you do that?
Yeah, what the fuck is the point of doing that? That makes
Cheating for a good cause.
cheating for a great cause.
I win all donations.
Yeah. Now, for me, one of the things I've considered doing is, and this is going to be a fun little project if I ever get around to doing it, is I'm looking at still developing my programming skills.
Uh-huh.
And I am considering getting better at making AI.
Uh-huh.
And then I want to make an AI to play games. But here's the kicker. I'm going to message the company first and tell them, it's like, hey, I want to help improve your AI detection. So I'm going to build an AI and see how long your AI detection takes to find it.
Okay.
Like, I always want to get their permission to do it.
Fair.
And so that way they know that. And I was like, but please do me a favor and do not tell, like, if you have an automated detection, it's fine. But if you have, like, an in-person detection, don't tell the people who are doing the detecting that this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I want
black box testing.
Yeah, I want to see how fast you find them, and then what actions they did, what action did the AI do that made them find them, and then see, go, okay, let's improve this process. Let's make their detection better. It was like an idea I had in my brain.
Fair enough. You know, some of the bigger companies may even have departments doing exactly that.
Oh yeah, probably, no doubt. But it would be interesting to see a little AI thing just doing the dumbest shit. Because I am not an expert programmer. I guarantee you, whatever AI I program is probably going to be full-blown, like, mind-numbingly stupid.
Yeah, and I will say that, like, AI programming is, like, deep programming lore. That's going to take a while.
Oh yeah. I figure this is like a long-term project that I work on every now and then. Whenever I get hit with the inspiration.
Fair.
But I thought it would be like a fun little thing to do. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Could be cool.
Yeah, I feel like that would be fun. Oh, excuse me. Wizen, I got a question for you.
Can I ask for you?
Now, did you just reboot the server last time I asked, or?
Yes.
Okay. Have you set up an automated reboot?
No.
Okay. That's something we should probably do later.
Yes.
Yeah. So that way, we don't have less glitches, essentially.
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
Are you done doing that? No, you have 2 out of 5
Yes.
done. Okay. High-grade medical supplies. I have to go collect bones and horns. Because I need them for medicine.
Bones and horns and horny bones.
Yeah. Alright.
Let's go over here.
Bronze is 3 copper to 1.
Alright, I know you need it. What else needs it? Oh, you need it. Okay, cool. I find it funny that high-grade medical supplies cure depression. Like, okay. Good. More power to them.
I mean, I can kind of understand, like, oh, hey, I don't have to deal with the American healthcare system. I've already got the supplies I need.
Oh, God.
That would make me happier.
Yep. Oh, yeah, immensely.
Oh, you know what? That's silver. That's not 10. I need 10.
Alright.
There's 10.
I need 11.
So, those are some crevices. I don't need those because they only give me wool. I need the boars. I need something called a vuxie or something.
What the Vuxie?
Yeah, it's like a weird fox thing. It reminds me a lot of back in the day, Eevee.
Okay.
Oh, it's a thwack. What the thwack?
Alright, so there's some bronze ingots.
Alright. So that is what's currently going on in that world. So that was kind of wild. Is there anything else on my news thing that I needed? No. Okay. Let's do a quick spin of the wheel.
Da, da, da. Just barely creeping over. Well, how topical considering
What's
the
coming?
news. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So apparently the tower are getting a new codex this the pre-orders this Saturday,
Yes.
which means they're probably gonna have it out in like a month-ish.
Usually the pre-orders go live about 2 weeks before release, I think. So they should have them dropping in 2 weeks after the pre-order.
I'm gonna see if I can't pick up the PDF. Because the Tau are my faction. Alright?
Yes.
I love me the Tau. Alright. So, some of you have experienced Warhammer 40k, and some of you have not. Let's, those of you who are not, let's just give you one quick little synopsis. Everybody is evil.
Yeah, no good guys.
There are no good guys. Everybody sucks. Like, some more than others. I almost said equally, but I was like, no, that's not true. Some suck more than others.
There are worse ones.
Dark Eldar, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Now, as I talk about the Tau, which I will be brutally honest, anytime I talk about any faction here on our little talk thing, I try to act as if I'm the hype man for that faction. I try to at least point out all the good sides of them, if there are any.
Right.
There are some that's like, I'm not really sure about this, but we'll give it a college try. The Tau are going to sound like the good guys for a while. But stick with me. Let me cook. I promise you, it will get bad.
Yeah. The Tau do have a lot of at least surface level qualities that make them sound better than most other factions.
All right. So the
But it's all sinister.
It's all sinister. The Tau believe in what's called the greater good, which is the person is not so much important as the society as a whole is. You try to help the most amount of people as you can for the greater good. Oh, damn it. Didn't mean to kill him.
Yeah. And you know, this principle has its roots in philosophy. You've got like utilitarianism. You want to do the greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people. And that is a valid moral philosophy, if a simplistic one.
Right. The Tau, when they were first discovered by the Imperium, they were a bunch of blue cave smurfy dudes beating each other with sticks and rocks.
It is worth noting at this point that the Tau are descended from like aquatic life. So if you hear us refer to them as fishy space communists, it is because in fact they are, descended from fish. They're not mammals.
They are fish people.
They are not mammals, no matter how many people on the internet draw Tau women with titties.
This is fair. This is fair. I feel like the Tau would have genetically done that just to entice more people to the greater good.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
I mean, I'm not wrong there.
Or the greater Gazonga.
For the greater Gazonga. It's like, well, have you ever heard of something called Skippy's List?
That rings a bell.
Oh, the shoutouts are on cooldowns for 10 minutes.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all. Evening, haven't played Palworld in a while after being severely addicted to it. Yeah, it is an addicting game. Alright, so Skippy's List is a list of 260-ish things that this guy's no longer allowed to do in the U.S. Army.
Okay, I have heard the list that so and so is not allowed to do in RPGs.
Yeah, it's based off of Skippy's list. Skippy's list was the
Okay.
original.
Okay, I had not heard that was the original.
As I was trying to
It's
tell you,
I forget the name of the guy who's no longer allowed to do this in RPGs or whatever.
Yeah. We'll give it a try. 9 minutes. Okay, I don't get why they're on cooldowns. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a cooldown on shoutouts, that is a significant hassle, and we might need to go back to Nightbot at some point.
Yeah, you know what? I'll just do SO2. Cracker. There you go. They were playing marbles on stream. SO2. Blow poke dad. Here we go.
Nice. Got Nightbot on backup.
Yeah, I have Nightbot on backup. I didn't get rid of it. I just said, fuck it. I'll put it on slightly different. You know. So if you ever need to do a shout out and Frosty Tools isn't working for you, Gamera,
Yep.
just do SO2.
I will try to keep that in mind.
Yeah. But anyway, on Skippy's list, there are several things on this list. One of them is rule number 113. I am not allowed to emulate the full Monty every time I hear the song Hot Stuff. Well, it gets better. Later on, it's like rule number, I want to say like 210 or something like that. It goes, I am not allowed to dance in the turrets. This especially applies in conjunction with rule number 113.
Nice.
But one of the rules is I will not make posters appealing to the baser interests of men. As recruitment posters. AP! And hey, he clicks. Oh, I just got shot. Oh, accidentally killed him. AP is here. And RFG Heathcliff, welcome as well. Yeah, so that's the one I was trying to remember. I was like, I know this exists. Give me a second. Skippy's list. All right, 213 things he's not allowed to do in the U.S. Army. Base. Here he goes. Rule number 42. I am not allowed to attempt to appeal to mankind's baser instincts in recruitment posters.
Yep.
The one under it is also very hilarious. It's camouflage body paint is not a uniform. It's like, what the fuck? You know, I'll share this in Discord. You guys will get a laugh out of this. Most people who are in the military will get a harder laugh because some of us have seen this shit. But the rules of it are the following things had to occur. He either had to have seen it done or done it himself, was either commended or told never to do it again, essentially, was spontaneously told one day he was not allowed to do, or lastly, a clarification of whatever above rule.
Nice.
So like one of the rules is like I am not allowed to chew gum in formation unless I brought enough for everyone. And then the next one down says, next day, I am not allowed to chew gum in formation even if I did bring enough for everyone. But yeah, honestly with the Tau, it would not surprise me if they didn't genetically modify some of the water cast with bigger gazungas to appeal to the baser instincts of the monkey men.
More like the saline cast.
Yeah.
So I'm actually on TV Tropes right now, and Skippy's list is listed as a similar thing as the RPG list, but they allege that the two lists were actually written independently.
Okay.
But the two people who created them actually knew each other in real life, so they had a similar sense of humor. I'm not sure if that is, like, there's no citation that proves this, but this is a claim on the TV Tropes page. There's also a Werewolf the Apocalypse specific version called Things Runs Like Hell is Not Allowed
to Do. Yep.
In the Garu Nation.
I've seen that one. That one's also funny if you're a WoD fan.
Yes. I will throw a link to the TV Tropes page in there.
Yep.
For...
Oh, yeah.
Things Mr. Welch is no longer allowed to do in an RPG.
There's also a SCP one now, too.
Okay.
Which is things Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to do.
Okay.
So, there are several variations, and they're all relatively funny.
Oh, and apparently there's another earlier list by Mr. Welch called 100 Ways to Annoy Wargamer,
Oh no!
which might be specifically relevant to this topic after we finish the proper discussion
Yeah.
of the Tau.
Yeah. Oh my god. Alright, so one of the things to note about the Tau is they start off, like I said, with sticks and rocks and we're just beating the shit out of each other. Alright?
Yeah.
That was when humanity first ran into them. And so the Imperium's like, fuck them. We'll come back in like 1,000 years-ish, and then we'll just level it into a parking lot and just make something there.
Well, it wasn't even that so much as like they scheduled the planet for Exterminatus, but then there was a warp storm that kept them from carrying that out in a timely fashion.
Yeah. But it wasn't like the Exterminatus was high on the
Right.
to-do list.
Yeah, it's like, kill these guys when you swing by, and
Yeah.
they swing by, and it's like, you know what? There's a warp storm. We actually can't get to them. When the warp storm dies down, we'll come by and do it.
Yeah, we'll come by and bomb them out of existence. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever. We'll turn it into, I don't know, a parking lot or something.
Pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
Yep. But, so... The tower gone for like 6,000 years in this warp storm, essentially. Which sounds like a lot to us, alright? In the terms of the Imperium, that is a drop in the bucket. Alright?
Yep.
It is not that long of a time. This would be the equivalent of, they came back in like a decade.
Right. And well, the other thing is that more time had passed inside the warp storm
Than outside. Yeah, the warp is one of those places where the timey-wimey, fucky-wucky shit happens.
Yeah.
So, the Tau went into the warp storm essentially with clubs, rocks, and, they had just discovered fire, essentially. Like,
Right.
this is cool. Fire was a new thing. When the warp storm faded and humanity went back to visit them, they suddenly had Gundams.
Yeah, their technology was suddenly on par or better than, in some regards, the Imperial technology.
Yeah. They had giant mech suits traveling around at like Mach 1, and they had severely advanced technology. Their planet was no longer at war at all. And this whole thing called the Greater Good occurred. Well, which now became, I don't want to call it a religion, but it's like a really strong philosophy.
Right.
And it's crazy, like, important to them. Now, the Tau are broken down into 5 castes. Alright? Oh, why did I throw that? The first caste I'm going to talk about is the one I brought up earlier. The Water caste. They're the merchants. They're the diplomats. They're the people who with the silver tongues that really want to have a chat with you. Alright? That's kind of their shtick. They want to just have a good conversation.
Yep.
And whenever you meet the Tau, these are the guys you're going to run into first.
That is by design.
Yep. You call me a sheik. Hey! How you doing, dude? Bot SWAT. I'm guessing that's Bot Squad, and it just didn't come out right. We all have typo days. So yeah, the Water caste is the first ones you run into. They're very friendly. They're very kind. They'll make trades with you, and they'll be like, hey, we noticed that you're running low on food. We have an abundance of food. If you come work with us and serve the greater good, we'll make sure you're fed, and that your medical conditions will be cared for, and that your quality of living will be drastically improved. This sounds like a great idea so far, doesn't it?
Yep.
There's a catch, but we'll get to that here in a bit. The second group you may meet is the Air caste. They're the pilots. They're the transport people. They're the guys who fly around in the sky. with vehicles. All right. Now the water cast is very, designed to be pretty. All right. They're designed to be pleasing on the eye. The air cast, less so on the prettiness and more so on being the best biological being to fly. Or be a pilot, which means they're very lanky, their bones are very light and easy to break. They can handle more G-forces than everyone else can. In comparison.
Right.
That's kind of their shtick. But God help you if you get it, or God help them if they get into melee combat. They are completely boned. But that's just the air cast there. Then we have the earth cast. The earth cast is the craftsmen. They're the makers. They design things. They make things. They make sure everything is built correctly.
They're the dwarves.
Yeah, they're the dwarves. Damn it, I didn't mean to kill you. Oh, stupid. I accidentally killed them. Whoops. But yeah, they're very much the dwarves. They constantly build things. A couple of them have been known to fight. But those are very rare occasions.
Yes.
One of them actually, RFG, Heath, how's the stream going tonight? It's going great. We're having a fun time. We're educating people on some 40k while I'm playing some Palworld. And Sheik, you have a great night. You enjoy that work. I'm sure we have a nice drink around here somewhere for you. Yeah, but there's one Earthcast that had his brain copied or something into a Riptide suit. For those of you who don't know what a Riptide is, it's a big robot with like either a plasma cannon, which is this massive thing, but they call it an ion accelerator, which is this big energy gun that's really good at melting through armor, or they have a energy chain gun that's called a pulse something, like a pulse cannon or something.
Yeah. Like
a pulse burst cannon. And it is brutal, especially if you're going against a lot of less armored foes. So he's in one of those. He's in just a big honking robot. With that being said, then there's the last cast. And that is the fire cast. If you haven't guessed what the fire cast is about, it's kind of obvious by their name. They like to fight. I wouldn't say they like to fight. They're just good at it.
Yes.
The Tau are very much like, they'll do whatever it takes to essentially accomplish their goals. Oh, there goes Wizen.
Yep.
I need to fix reactive now because suddenly my head is off the camera. Same with yours. Your head was off too.
That's all right.
So whatever job you're given with the Tau, they want to make sure that you are really good at it. So they'll give you any resources you need to do your job fantastically. All right. So with the Fire Warriors, they are professional soldiers. They will fight. They will study fighting, and they'll study tactics. They'll get better at shooting, all that jazz.
Yeah, they are the linchpin of the Tau's military might.
Yeah. It's pretty much when you run into Tau, you'll encounter the water and air cast first, and if you accept their help, the earth cast will show up. Did I say water and earth? Or did I say water and air?
I did not get it because I am partially distracted.
When you first run into Tau, it's water and air will be first, because air's transporting everybody, water is the one talking to you. They'll make a bunch of offers. If you say no, then, if you say yes, the earth cast will show up and help you out. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, hi there. Ow. He hit me with an electric shock and I accidentally killed him. Whoops. Whoop. Whoopsie! And if you don't accept the Tao's deal, by the way, then they send the Firecast to say hello. If they believe that you have to join. If you're not that important to join, they'll kind of leave you to your own devices.
Right.
Until you become a threat or you have something they really need. Now, what ended up attracting the Imperium's attention was something the Watercast did, which I'll get to in a moment because I just realized there's the 5th cast I haven't talked about yet.
Ah, yes.
The Ethereals. The Ethereals are the priests and stuff, and they're relatively in charge. Pretty much, the Tau will do whatever an Ethereal will tell them to do. For good or for ill, if an Ethereal goes, hey, there's a burning building over there, walk into that building, save 4 or 5 people, but in return, you will burn to death. And the Tau will go, doing it.
On it.
Yeah, on it. Like, not even a second thought. Just boom. Okay, got it.
They say jump. How high?
Yeah, haha. Yep. Now, with that being said, here's the downside of the Tau. And remember, we mentioned everybody is evil. Here's where the Tau are evil. Whatever the Tau decide for you to do, you are going to do it. Alright? They will force you to do that, whether the job is a great job or a shitty job.
Mm-hmm.
You no longer have personal freedom. That is out the window.
Yeah.
While your quality of life will be nice and you'll live very comfortably, you will have no say in how your life is run. Alright? It sucks. And what makes it even worse, the Ethereals use some form of pheromone control to mind control the Tau.
Yeah, it's not 100% like fully confirmed as to what their mechanism of control is, but there is something in them, and pheromones is the most popular theory, that allows them to essentially mind control. It's not psionic, but it basically allows them to almost unerringly control any normal members of their species.
Yeah.
And I use the word almost because I have the sense we're getting ready to talk about your guy.
My guy, yeah, my guy. My favorite Tau guy. Alright? Now, before we talk about my guy, there's someone ahead of him we have to talk about. Which is Commander Puretide. Alright? Puretide is basically the Sun Tzu of the Tau. He was the strategic and tactical genius. And he was amazing at his job. He was a great fire warrior. And the Tau still, I don't want to say worship him, I'd say highly venerate him.
Yeah, venerate's a good word.
They venerate him heavy. Oh my god, it's constant. Oh, AP got a 5-stream watch streak. Woo! Huzzah! But Puretide is so well loved that they took all of his lessons and all of his brain patterns and they put it in a computer chip. And in times of severe threat to the Tau, they will throw his computer chip into a bunch of their warriors.
Yeah.
Which will make them way better at tactics.
It's like the Matrix, where instead of downloading Kung Fu into your brain, they download the tactical lessons of Sun Tzu.
Yep, straight to your brain. You go from, hey, I'm pretty good with a gun, and, I can march in formation, to, I now have the tactical history of the last 2,000 years in my brain, and I can access it at any fucking moment.
Yep.
Now, there is a downside with it, which is the unfortunate downside that recalling that information is not perfect. It's a bit much for a, biological brain to have that much information in it and be able to access it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is that. Now, the reason why I said I want to talk about Pure type before my favorite Tau is because he's the teacher of my favorite Tau. Excuse me. Oh, cursed lungs. And the person who's my favorite Tau, his name is Commander Farsight. Alright, this guy is the closest thing to a good guy we have in 40k. I feel.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely up there.
He's at least in the top 5.
There was a recent crisis that did almost cause him to fall to chaos.
Yeah, that was... Now, Commander Farsight is called Farsight because he studies his opponent so thoroughly he can predict their movements and what tactics they tend to do. It is very rare that Farsight will be surprised by someone's actions. Alright? In particular, there's one group he is specialized in basically mass killing. And that would be the Orcs.
Yes, back in older editions of the tabletop game when they had the hatred rule, he had hatred of Orcs, which made him just statistically more effective against them.
Yeah, but he understood them very well. Like, when he first encountered the Orcs, he realized very quickly, he lost the first battle against them. He didn't die, like, he retreated, but he then realized real quick from that loss how the Orcs think. They just want a good fight. And so what he would do is he would deny them a good fight. He would keep shooting them and messing with them and then retreat before the Orcs could get in to fight. And rinse and repeat.
Which discourages the Orcs from wanting to fight him at all.
The Rose. Okay, here you go. Bye-bye. Yeah, because if the Orcs don't get a good fight, they're going to look somewhere else for a good fight.
Yep.
And that was his idea. He also heavily focused some of his units on flamethrowers. Because the spores can't make more Orcs if there are no fucking spores. In particular, one planet that he faced the Orcs in a lot was this deserty planet. Now, at first you're thinking, oh, it's just sand and so on and so forth. No, it was rust. The planet was covered in, like, metal shards and rust and shit. And so what he would do is, he would attack the Orcs, draw them to start chasing him, and then lead them into a storm, a windstorm filled with sharp metal blades and shit flying around. And was just mass killing the Orcs this way. And oh wow, was it effective. But the problem was he was a little too good at what he was doing. And he inevitably got called elsewhere. Unfortunately, he left some notes behind on how to deal with the Orcs, which was primarily, don't give them a chance to recover, kill every last one of them.
Yeah.
And those notes were kind of ignored by the Tau.
Yep.
Which kind of pissed him off. Now, the fun thing about the Tau is they try to make friends with everybody first. And the Orcs and the Dark Elves were no exception. Which was really bad idea for the Tau.
Yeah, I mean, there are Orcs that you can actually form some kind of working relationship with, but I don't believe they were dealing with those Orcs in particular.
No. And definitely not the Drukhari.
No, you're not going to set up a trade network with the Drukhari.
Yeah, that's going to go bad. Kill them all. Yeah, kill them all! See, the problem that the Tau did was, one of the biggest weaknesses, I will say, of the Tau in general, is they're very naive. They think they can make friends with everyone, they think they can They can talk their way out of any problem because everybody just wants what's best for everybody. Not realizing...
That is true of some Tau.
Well, the main Tau branch.
Yeah, I think that there are... I think that there are Watercast members, and I think that there are some Ethereals who do have a better understanding of the psychology of other races.
Yeah.
But it hasn't filtered down through, the entirety of the species as a rule.
Yeah, no. So, the Tau, when they interacted with the Orcs, before Farsight did, they tried giving the Orcs some guns, saying, hey, you like weapons, let's be friends and we'll give you some weapons. And the Orc kind of looked at this and went, this is neat, shooter, and then shot the Tau.
Yeah.
It was like, well, that didn't work. So Farsight was understandably pissed off with his race and his empire because they ignored what the hell he just told them. So there is that. But then he, I believe, before certain things happened, he had an encounter with some orcs near a ritual site. And this ritual site was a shrine to Khorne, if memory serves. And what ended up happening was there was a sword in this ritual site. Alright? Now, Farsight was fighting the orcs. And the ritual required X amount of blood to basically activate the shrine. Well, congratulations with the Tau and the orcs, mass killing each other there. X amount of blood was met.
Yeah.
So the shrine was activated, and suddenly demons started, Khornite demons started pouring out of the shrine. Now, Farsight had never seen a demon before, so this was all brand new to him. His people were getting cut up and tore up and all kinds of, horrible things. So he went into the shrine, grabbed the sword, and then proceeded to start slaughtering demons. Now, here's one thing about Farsight that's really neat about him. Unlike most Tau, for the most part, like to stay far away and shoot things. Because, well, you live longer that way.
You do, and also their technology is slanted towards that kind of engagement.
Yeah, heavily. Farsight is an exception to this. How do I put this? He likes being up in the fight.
Yeah.
He likes dodging, weaving, all that cool stuff. So when he got his hands on that sword, he was happy. And he did all kinds of stuff. Which is a far cry from his early days in the Tau Firecast, where they how do I put this? The Tau kind of did Farsight dirty multiple times. Because they always kept giving him what he wanted, but not the exact way he wanted it. Very much that whole be careful what you wish for thing.
Yeah.
Farsight wanted to be in a suit. In particular, a crisis suit. Because that would put him up front. Oh, we're getting raided! Woo!
Hey.
It's Addy Bear! With 53 people!
Damn.
Hot damn! Welcome, Raiders! AP, it's S... There you go. If it doesn't... Oh, it worked! Yay! Oh my god. Alright, how much... I have 138. I have enough. I can do this. Alright, let's go with... you. Hit you. Hit you. Fingers don't want to cooperate. I kind of guessed as much. Alright. Now it's Pen King versus Bonk Alpaca. Oh, wow. Turn him into a freaking popsicle. Jesus. Nope. Oh god.
You okay there, buddy?
Yeah, it's just Chunk Boy here is a bit of a fight. Up, 6 more people came in with Addy Bear. Woo. Yeah. All right. So like a good example of this, like the Tau messing with Farsight, was, remember how I said he likes being in a crisis suit because he likes being up front in the fight and everything? Mm-hmm. The first combat suit they put him in was a broadside, which is a slow-moving sniper mech.
Yeah, not at all what he wanted.
The exact opposite. But they tricked him into it by saying, hey, if you do these things that we asked you to do, we'll give you a suit, a combat suit. And he was young and excited and was like, yeah, this sounds awesome. And then, yeah, not exactly what you were playing there, buddy, was it?
Psych!
Yeah. It would be nice if I could hit my target. You figure a target that big, I would actually be able to hit it. Oh. But yeah, so Farsight had some issues with the Tau hierarchy.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, hope you have a good stream, mate. Thanks, man. Okay. Can I catch you now? Ow. Oh, boy. So, inevitably, when this whole demonic bullshit happened, the Ethereals tried to cover it up. They did not want people knowing that the warp existed and all kinds of stuff. That, like, the Ethereals were like, yeah, that's just no good. We don't want this. What the hell?
It's also worth making a brief note here that the Tau amongst the species of 40k, they have very shallow presences in the warp. They're not like there are beings that are supposedly without souls that have no presence in the warp and even actively interfere with it, and the Tau aren't that. But they are very shallow in the warp, so that they are harder to influence with chaos, harder to detect, and that sort of thing.
Yeah. That also means their warp travel is not going to work. All right, dude, you have a great night. I appreciate you being here. All right, let's see. I need more weight. All right. So, the fact that the demons exist, so on and so forth, was kind of harshing on the Ethereal's ideas of, hey, there's this thing called the greater good, and it's the most important thing. When they tried covering things up, well, Farsight didn't care for that much. And so he left the Tau, and he created his own little enclave group called the Farsight Enclaves. Which,
I was going to say, it's worth noting that he was less affected by the ethereal control.
Yeah, something about him made him more resistant. And we're not sure why. That sword of his, though, has a nifty trick to it. Everything he kills with it extends his life.
Yeah.
So, when he left the Tau, he was kind of an old man. Like, he was getting up there in years.
Mm-hmm.
He is now, at current day, the equivalent of like a 22, 25-year-old.
Physically speaking.
Physically speaking. It is definitely, and it's something that he has noted, and he is also concerned about. Like, he is keeping an eye on because he doesn't want to get corrupted.
Yeah.
So, he has a few planets of his own. He kind of does his own thing. He has its own focus in combat, which is mostly crisis suits, is his favorite suit. And so, he makes sure his people are well trained on it. With that being said, though, there is the other races' interactions with the Tau that are quite amusing. Like, for instance, the Tau's interaction with the Imperium of Man. The Imperium...
traveler.
Yoshi, was it? Yoshi Master 2020, welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern. One of their first encounters for the Imperium Man, by the way, was a
As I was
crusade!
trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this
Well,
gun, you see.
other than what started the crusade was the water caste convinced several Imperial planets to start working with the Tau and stop paying the Imperial tithe.
Yes.
Which,
The Imperial tithe being basically, you send us soldiers because, you know, we need them to defend you.
whoa, okay. It's now on a 24-minute cooldown?
That ain't good.
That ain't good, no. AP, by the way, if you do a shout-out and it does that cooldown thing, just use SO2. I might just go back to the Nightbot one if it's gonna keep getting this big.
Yep.
Because that's no bueno.
Yeah, don't want that.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. And hear the lamentation of the women.
Yeah. So the Imperium didn't take kindly to, you know, suddenly not getting enough soldiers.
Also, affiliation with Xenos is highly frowned upon.
Yeah, extremely. Like, you get burned alive for that shit.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. How many bones do I have? I have 18 bones, 2 horns. I'm working my way up there. I just need more. Oh, I mean, I also need the XP too, so... Because I need to get the weapon assembly line. Alright. So, after a few planets went missing, or stopped talking to the Imperium, they sent a crusade, which basically said, hey, force these guys to rejoin us, pay the tithe, and if anybody says no, kill them.
Yep.
And whatever caused this to happen, kill that too. And the Imperium learned really quick that the Tau are not exactly pushovers. But at the same time, if the entire Imperium paid attention to the Tau, they'd be dead so quickly.
Yeah, the sheer volume of Imperial forces could overwhelm the Tau, but there are so many other threats that the Tau just do not... They can't bring that many forces to focus on the Tau. And so they've basically chosen mostly to contain the Tau, try to head them off from expansion. But I think you were building towards the discussion of the Tau ally species.
Yes. In this case, the Tau, because they know they're not great at melee, have made a few friends who are better at it.
Yeah.
And that would be the big one being the Kroot.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the Tau approach is, you know, you've heard about what we discussed about their water caste going out and making allies. The Tau are one of the few species in the 40k universe willing to work with anybody, in theory, as long as you work with them on their terms.
Yeah.
And so they have, I believe, 2 primary subsidiary species that have models noted.
Yeah.
One of which is the Kroot, and the other is the Vespid.
The Vespid, which are flyers.
Yes.
Yeah, the Vespid can fly. They're little insect guys. They fly around. The Kroot are kind of like also insecty. But they're more ground-based and they hit really hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell the Kroot are in terms of biology, but, I mean, maybe insecty? I don't know.
It's a mixture of insecty or beast, are my 2 best guesses. based on their
Yeah.
appearance.
It is also worth noting that humans often can be found in Tau forces.
Yep, they're called Gravesa.
I believe it is Guavesa. There's
Guavesa.
no R in it. Yeah.
Yeah, Gravesa.
And yeah, they work as if they were Tau troops. But there's a big catch to joining the Tau.
Yeah, you lose your ability to reproduce.
Yeah, they sterilize non-Tau that join them because they don't want to ever be outnumbered by non-Tau.
Yeah. Now, there are some exceptions. I've noticed in some of the stories that there are some Gravesa that have joined the Tau that are not sterilized. Because they talk about their kids.
Right.
And the fact
Well,
that
I was going to say they could have had some kids when they joined, but...
Yeah. Well, no, in some cases, one of the stories that was talked about with that one particular Gravesa, I cannot remember the woman's name for the life of me. But she had kids after she had joined the Tau.
Okay.
And in particular, it was with a water caste member, I believe, or a earth caste.
Meaning she had kids with a Tau?
With a Tau, yes.
That's... How does that biologically work?
I have not the slightest fucking clue, my dude.
I gotta assume there's, like, some adoption involved there, because... Damn.
Maybe? Or maybe, like, you know, if it was an earth cast, he might have done some genetic shit and just, like, it's technically a test tube baby?
Could be. Could be.
I mean, if it was Earthcast, I could see that happening. They're the scientists and like the crazy guys. I could see them totally doing something like that.
Yeah, is the baby described in the story? Like,
No, it's just mentioned, and it's
Okay.
like an infant.
okay, I just wonder like how human it is or how inhuman it is.
Fuck if I know, because they don't really go into it much from what I've read.
Fair.
So maybe it's something that'll show up in like a later book. That'd be kind of cool. Now, have you heard the story where the Tau attempted to recruit a space marine?
I have not. No, I imagine
Okay.
that did not go well.
It went very poorly. I want to make sure I get the right chapter. I remember most of the story. I just cannot remember what the there it was like. Give me a second. I'm trying to find it. I want to say it was a Black Templar.
Oh God!
Yeah, it was like one of the worst options they could have fucking picked.
Oh Lord, those poor Tau.
Well, no, what happened was they spent a lot of resources to catch him. Okay? Like a lot of resources. And
Yeah.
they caught him, and then proceeded to question him. Welcome, Demibod, to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my goddamn tavern. Can I please hit this fox? There we go. Damn it. I hit it and then I killed it. Ah, damn it. Anyway, it was something along the lines like, my name is Brother... I'm gonna say Aurelius, because I cannot remember the damn name of the frickin' Space Marine.
That's fair.
Alright, so it's like, my name is Brother Aurelius, I am a Black Templar, and I will not fall to corruption, or whatever the heck like, his chant was. Alright?
Right.
He started off with one particular chant, like, my name is Brother Aurelius, I am of the Black Templar. Like, he stated what his rank and everything was.
Yeah.
And you will not cause me to fall. Alright? And that's all they kept getting out of him. Even when they probed his mind with, like telepathy, that's all they would get. It's just, I am this, you will not get me to fall, essentially, Black Templar. Alright? And then eventually, this guy realized how many Tau were inside his head. Because it was a lot. Alright? And suddenly his chant changed to, I am Brother Aurelius, I am of the Black Templar, and I will do my duty.
Uh-huh.
And he sent both of his hearts into cardiac arrest.
Uh-huh.
Killing himself and over 80 Tau who were inside his head.
Yeah.
Like, they just fell over dead. And the Tau were like, nope. From that point on, they have not tried to recruit another Space Marine, because they have denoted the Space Marines as a group of guys who are just weapons. They are nothing more than weapons. They're living weapons. So attempting to recruit them is pointless. Which, if we're going to be brutally honest, that's not entirely wrong.
I mean, Weapon does undersell the Space Marines just because they are also, in some cases, brilliant tacticians and shit. But, yeah. Recruiting them would be futile.
Yep. Now, we mentioned a couple of other races. There are 2 races on what I would refer to as the Tau no-fly list. Like, do not recruit these guys. It's not worth it. Fucking just kill them. Immediately. Would you like to make a guess on which 2 wonderful groups that are on that list?
I would say the Dark Eldar.
Yep, Dark Eldar are one, after the Tau sent a bunch of Watercast to Kamarog to, engage in an exchange program, and in return, they got their Watercast members back as abominations.
Uh-huh.
'Cause that went badly.
Yep.
And would you like to guess the other one?
I would guess the Orcs.
The Orcs are the other. Technically, the Space Marines are their own, like, if you count them as their own group, they count as a third.
Right.
And they're on the no-fly list. Like, they'll agree to work with the Space Marines if, like, something is enough of a threat.
Right.
For example, during the crusade that we mentioned earlier, the Tyranids showed up. During that whole, fight. And so the Tau and the Space Marines, who were the Ultramarines, decided that they were going to team up to deal with the Tyranids.
Yep.
Because, at least we can go back to killing each other later. They're trying to eat us all.
Right. Like we said, degrees of evil.
Yeah. The only other faction that has consistently agreed to work with the Tau, or at least engage in discussions with the Tau, is probably one you could guess, Gamera.
I mean,
Actually,
the Eldar.
Well, no, I'm talking about in the Imperium. There are 2 groups in the Imperium that fully agree to work with the Tau.
Okay. I mean, the Rogue Traders, are we counting them?
No, that's different. That's a whole nother group.
I mean, they're Imperial.
Okay, technically, yes, they're Imperial, right. So, if you count them 3.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. One is a Space Marine chapter, one is not.
I would say the Space Marine chapter that I would guess is most likely to work with the Tau. I mean, maybe the Salamanders?
The Salamanders have worked with the Tau 3 times.
Okay.
That I have found. And it was because the Salamanders were attempting to save civilians. The Tau happened to be in the area doing another operation. And they came to an agreement to save the civilians.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that is the Space Marine chapter that's worked with them. One group that has kind of been interested in them, but they have yet to interact, has been the Iron Hands.
Interesting.
Mostly the Iron Hands just want to get a hold of their tech and see how it works, and see if they can't adapt it to some of their shit.
That would be tech heresy, but
I get it.
Xenos tech is forbidden.
Yeah, which is true, but like, Ferrus Manus just wants to be able to take the shit apart and figure that shit out.
Ferrus Manus doesn't want much of anything. He's dead.
Oh, that's true too. But when he was alive, that's what he wanted, to be precise.
Ferrus Manus just wants his head back.
Yeah, that's fair. Perturabo also wants Tau Tech for also same reason.
Oh yeah, I would totally believe that.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left
That
in
is
this gun,
just
you see?
exactly their jam.
This is dog. Woof, 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 woof.
Nope.
Your f***ing moral compass is a roulette wheel.
Okay.
Oh my god!
This is a
This
great
pirate ship
opportunity
is
for
pissing me
slaughter.
off.
Okay.
It's filled with skeletons who spawn with like multiple silverfish on them.
Ah! What the fuck?
It's just, yeah, pissing me off.
Yep.
For sure.
So, what is the one non-Space Marine group that you think would want to work with the Tau?
I mean, again, not counting the rogue traders.
Right.
Probably the Inquisition, because they be dirty like that.
Surprisingly, no. Though there has been instances where the Order Malleus, it's the one that deals with demons.
Yeah, the Malleus.
The Order Malleus and the Tau have had similar objectives, but they didn't interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They are more of like, the Inquisition noticed them over there and went, we'll kill them later. Like, we got more important shit to deal with. Chaos is over here. We gotta kill that first.
They're aliens. It's the Ordo Xenos problem.
Yeah, their problem, not mine. So no. The Inquisition, for the most part, either ignores them or, attempts to murder them.
Okay, then who's the last faction?
The Adeptus Mechanicus.
Okay, hadn't heard about this.
There are 2 instances where the Adeptus Mechanicus has worked with the Tau because the Tau happened to be holed up in a base somewhere, and that base happened to be on top of something that the Mechanicus wanted. So in return, the Adeptus Mechanicus made an agreement to basically leave the Tau alone if the Tau left them alone so they could, get their artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's those 2 instances. I wouldn't call it working together per se, but
Bruce.
at least, a ceasefire. There's that. Excuse me. I love it if my freaking lungs would stop trying to, run off. Ugh. Love my lungs. Oh my god. But yeah, those are the examples of the Imperium working with the Tau.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And usually it requires, like, very particular circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, the Imperium has, in its history, despite its rampant xenophobia, it has worked with the Eldar. It has worked with the Necrons. It does happen.
There is a particular group of orcs that they have worked with.
Oh, they even hire orcs to occasionally do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, orcish mercenaries.
Oh yeah.
So it happens. It's just, yeah, infrequent.
Yeah, infrequent. And the other thing with the Tau to note is their space travel is painfully slow.
Yeah, relative to everybody else, because the Tau do not have really a presence in the warp, they can't dive as deeply into it to move as fast. So their ships essentially make little shallow dips into the warp instead of doing the deep dives that other vessels do.
Yeah. Which, is problematic, but it is what it is.
I mean, it does have some upsides. You're not as exposed to demons and shit.
This is true. You tend to live longer that way.
So, some upsides, some downsides.
Yep. And like I said earlier, they like their mechs. They like big giant robots. And they really are not big into melee.
Yeah, the Tau melee is limited, let's say.
Highly.
And Farsight, the only other thing I was going to mention that we kind of haven't touched on is Farsight has a really cool bunch of bros. The 8.
Right.
And did you want to talk about them a little bit?
I'll have to look up their names again because that's the big problem I can't remember is all their names.
Well, essentially, Farsight in the lore has basically this group that's sort of like a 7 Samurai riff, except it's like 8 Tau battle suits. And, yeah, they basically can deploy as a unit in some editions of the game to kick ass.
So the ones we have, there is one semi-famous person in the Tau before we get into Farsight Bros. That is somewhat still popular, and that's Shadow Sun.
Yes, the other Tau commander without her head up her ass.
Yeah. Shadow Sun is big into being sneaky. Like, she likes her stealth suit. But she also understands that you can't be sneaky all the time.
Yes.
And is really good at getting her foes to fight themselves.
Yep.
That seems to be her main kind of shtick. Is like getting everybody just to fight themselves.
Very pragmatic.
Yeah. She's not always great at it, but she does a fair job.
I think she got a new model like last year or the year before, so.
Yep. She also a fan of the plasma blades. The fusion blades. 2 little energy swords that are attached to her wrists. She likes those.
Yep.
Not sure why, but hey, you do you, man. Alright, so we got the 8 here. You ready? So the first one is Commander Farsight, or also known as Oshova.
Oshova.
Oshova. So, yeah. He's done all kinds of crazy shit. His sword, by the way, is known as the Dawn Blade.
Yes.
So there's that. Apparently he has, he was exiled by the Tau, and he created the Farsight Enclaves, and apparently he has returned.
Oh. Now, I did know that in a recent conflict, like, the Enclaves were going to be wiped out, so he basically reached out to the Tau and said, look, if you come save my people, I will turn myself over to you. Like, I will surrender to save their lives. And the Tau basically ghosted him. And so that's when he did the dangerous invocation of Khorne that nearly caused him to fall to chaos.
Yep.
But that is very recent lore. I did not hear that he had subsequently returned to them. That is very interesting.
Well, no, he's returned. Apparently, he's not fully returned to the Tau.
Oh, okay.
But he has begun working with some of them, but not the, what is the word I'm looking for? Not the Ethereal Enclave. Or the Ethereal Council.
Okay.
He has refused to work with them. But he is working with people like Talassa, and, like, the planet Talassa, and Shadow Sun, and other fun people like that.
Interesting.
So some people in the Tau Empire are working with him. But it's not the Ethereals.
Yeah.
So there is that. Where is it? Okay, so apparently at one point during the war on Arthas Moloch, came to head at the Great Star Dais.
Yeah.
He activated the portal.
That was it.
With enemy blood unleashing demons upon the Orc and Chaos armies. For a moment, Farsight gave in to the fury of Khorne and became the avatar of the Blood God. His battle suit transforming into a Titan-sized axe-wielding monstrosity covered in the skulls of the Ethereals he now hated.
Oh dear, I hadn't heard the rest of that.
Yeah, he began to see himself as an army of one, and that any of his warriors that were too weak to survive deserved their own fate. The horror of this thought creeping into his mind drew him back to sanity, and he shook off the corruption. Upon regaining his senses, he immediately ordered a fighting retreat and sought to save his warriors above any other objective. He later returned to the world to examine the Great Dais and was pleased to find it inactive and that organic life was returning to the world.
Whew. Yeah, that was the thing that I read about. I had not gotten all the details.
He turned into a fucking titan.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck.
Dipped into Korn's little well there.
All right. So the first person in his little bro team there is Commander Bravestorm. All right?
Yep.
He pilots an experimental prototype XV-802 battlesuit equipped with a plasma rifle and a shield generator. So, he is a mid-range combatant.
Yeah.
And in the most recent battle, his Iridium battlesuit suffered catastrophic damage from orc fire. Farsight personally saw this gentleman's evacuation to a medical facility. So, like, Farsight went and grabbed this guy in particular. I'm getting you to a dock. All right. Then we got Ovesa, which is known as the Stone Dragon. He is an old Earthcast colleague. This is the guy I was talking about earlier.
Yes.
That was kept alive by micro-drones of his own invention and pilots a modified XV-104 Riptide battlesuit. So, he has a double-barrel ion accelerator, plasma cannons on his shoulders, and he is straight up like, I'm gonna fuck you up from like this hillside way back here. He is very much far range. He also has I would say a low-grade AI, but it's still an AI nonetheless, that helps him pilot his suit. So, that's interesting. So, like, he's basically like, hey, guess what? I'm not a warrior, so I made a computer that is one.
Right.
And that's kind of wild that he did that. And it's cool. I kind of like him. He's kind of a fun dude. He reminds me of like that building kind of dude that just like, fuck it, I'll just build something awesome that does the job for me.
Yep.
The next guy is Commander Brightsword. Gee, I wonder what he's about. His battle suit is designed with 2 fusion blasters that can turn into fusion blades. He also has a shield on him, on his suit, so there's that. And then the big custom thing that he has, because Ovesa also had this on his, is a targeting computer. Where Bright Swords is just a targeting computer. Ovesa claims it's a targeting computer, but in reality it's an AI.
Right.
So, slight difference there.
Yes.
Shavastos, Commander Shavastos. He faced lobotomy when the Ethereal Counselor ordered the removal of all pure-tide neurochips after they'd been found wanting. So Commander Farsight said, no, we're keeping this chip in this guy. He's fine. He's cool. Let him be. So he's the one of the 8 that has that pure-tide neurochip in him. Because if you go to take that chip out, you are lobotomized. You are a drooling vegetable.
Yeah. No undo button.
Yep. Now, he can't fight right now. His prototype neurochip has suffered rapid degradation after the last battle, and so Farsight has him spirited away in a stasis pod until they find a cure. Oh no, wait, sorry, that was a older battle, the Akumensha War. Recently, he's been brought back because Ovesa was able to calibrate the neurochip and reawaken him. So he's now just back.
Cool.
So he's back and fighting. Then we got Oblotai, which he's in a Tau battle suit, like a crisis suit, loaded with missiles. And I mean a fuck ton of them. Like this, his hand has 20. His hand has each hand has 24 missiles, and then he has an additional. No, not 24, 12. Each hand has 12 missiles, and the back has 16. And then he has a Hunter-Seeker missile on his other shoulder.
Nice.
Which, a Hunter-Seeker missile, for those who don't know, is a fucking cruise missile. It's just practically a cruise missile, just hitting a target. Now, Oblotai, by the way, is not a living being.
Yes, that is one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah, he is a straight-up late-generation AI engram of the original guy, who taught Farsight when he was young how to pilot a battlesuit, and Farsight basically brought him back as an AI. So, holy shit. So that's 2 AIs in this. One's like a pseudo AI, the other one is a full and complete, hi, I'm an artificial intelligence with fucking missiles. Commander Akron is a skilled Tau battlesuit pilot. Let's see. He was in charge of the Farsight enclaves when Farsight returned. He possesses a highly analytical mind and an advanced new support system. Recently arrived vision of helping him. He has the most anti-infantry weaponry on his suit. So, fun times there. This guy does not fuck around. And then the last one. This guy's name kind of gives it away. Sub-Commander Torchstar. I wonder what he's into. I just don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't tell. Just so hard. Yeah, he is straight up got dual flamers.
Let's try some Burnination.
Yep. And he joined Farsight later than the other guys. He's the newest one. Mm-hmm. He joined during the Orc Wars. And he made sure that, yeah. Oh boy. Oh, sorry, not he. She. I keep forgetting. This one's the female. She's the woman of the group.
Yep.
She's known as an impetuous Violan, whichever that means. Let me see what that means. Oh no, she's from Viral. Okay. So she's known as an impetuous person whose affinity with fire has seen her immolate hundreds of the Tau's foes. So
yep.
she has burninated some fucking people.
Well, sometimes you gotta specialize.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta specialize, and sometimes that specialization is fucking fire. But that's the 8, and they're an interesting bunch. Like, when you did the whole reference to, like, Samurai,
yeah,
you are not off on that.
Yeah, I am 100% sure that the folks who created them for GW were thinking of the 7 Samurai.
Yeah, there's so much inspiration in it. They all have their own specialties. They all have their own thing. There's no way it couldn't be that. AB just lit the place on fire. God damn it.
Ah, playing our inner torch star, I see.
Yeah, apparently. Right now, as it stands with Era Indominus, the Tau have not reached out yet to Gilliman. But it is suspected in this next codex that might be part of the codex's story.
Mm-hmm. As I was trying
is
to
how
tell you,
they reach out to Gilliman.
Which would make sense just based on the sheer volume of Tyranid threat that's bearing down on the galaxy at large.
Right. And the Tau are very big about making sure the Tyranids don't spread. That is, I feel, one of their two biggest enemies. Is Tyranids and Orcs. There is one battle I did want to recreate one day that would have been kind of fun. Is the battle with the Tau and the Space Marines versus the... I forget which Hive Fleet it was. But it was one of the Hive Fleets that invaded a world. And it was just... That would be kind of a cool thing to do. Though, with your proclivity, we would have to change it from Ultramarines to Blood Angels.
I mean, I also have Ultramarines, don't forget. That's my second biggest army after Blood Angels.
I know, but it's not your favorite.
I like them fine. Every now and then it's good to get a little Smurfy.
Little Smurfy. The Ultra fucking Smurfs. But I understand why the I get why the Ultramarines are not well liked, but at the same time, I get why they're as good as they are.
Yeah.
Because they're just damn good at logistics.
Yeah.
Like, you don't win wars without being good at logistics.
And they are very good.
And Gilliman, his brain, he's a freaking administrator first.
He's the galaxy's greatest CPA.
Pretty much. It's kind of wild. It's just like, wow. Okay, man. Go you. Alright, I just need one more level, and I can build a weapon assembly line. And then from there, I'll be able to get a third base, and then be able to move this base to my new location. Woo! I'm just waiting.
On.
I'm waiting for the fire arrows right now. They're halfway done. Because I want to have fire arrows to fight foes with.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yep. Alright, I think that's the Tau for the most part.
Yeah, I would say that's the Tau. Your comparison to, like, Gundams is apt. When they are, until recently, they were one of the very newest factions. They were kind of introduced later than most of the others, though there have been a few introduced since then.
Oh, yeah.
But that anime robot aesthetic, very much their deal.
Oh, yeah. And the big thing about Tau you gotta try to understand is, while they're in giant robots, these giant robots are not tough. They are fast, and they hit hard.
Yeah, I mean, they're not, like, complete glass cannons in some cases, but, yeah, they're not necessarily as tough as you might think that they should be.
Yeah. Their suits are not built for toughness. Their suits are built for speed and firepower.
Yeah.
And that also kind of is their strategy as well, when you think about it. I'm trying to remember what they're called. Tau. I think it was called the
Mont'ka and Kaoyan?
Kaoyan, yeah. So, the Tau have two main tactical philosophies. The Mont'ka and the Kaoyan. The Mont'ka is the killing blow, which is basically, you go in, you go fast, and you fucking hit real hard. Real quick.
Yeah.
So, you use Mont'ka if you want to end the battle quickly.
Yeah.
Kaoyan is the patient hunter. That is, you sit back, you draw the enemy to you, you do all kinds of these little fucky-wucky ambush things to just wear down your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And different philosophies work on different foes better. Like, for example, Kaoyan is great against the orcs. It's a great strategy for the orcs. Mont'ka is better for, like, the Imperial Guard.
Mm.
You get in there, you hit fast, and you make sure those damn artillery guns don't fire often.
Silence the guns.
Yep. So there is that. And here's a good question. I want to ask the audience this. Let's see. You know what? I'll do a poll. Because that way we can get new people for this. Hey, Doom Dizzle! I want to see if,
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in
All
this
right.
gun, you see.
I'll do a 2-minute poll. It's a simple little poll. We'll see how people react to it. Basically, would people like to see a 40K match?
Okay, there you go.
Because we both have Tabletop Simulator,
We do.
so that's something we could easily arrange.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yep. Whenever, Frosty Tools doesn't work, AP, there you go. He was playing Helldivers 2. Cool. Kill the bugs. Oh my god, I'm gonna have so many of these little fucking things. There we go. 500 should be enough. There we go. So far we got 1 yes. Okay. Not a lot of people reacting though, surprisingly. I thought there, out of the sheer number of people in here, there'd be more of a vote.
Give it a little time. People may be idling a little bit.
That's true. We may have mostly lurkers, which is okay.
Yep.
This might be something we'll have to do a poll on Discord.
Yeah, and we could certainly do a poll over a more extended period of time.
Yeah. This was just a quick thing of, like, would people be kind of interested in this?
Right on.
Yeah. Alright, so we got 500 fire arrows there. Come on, give me more fire arrows. I have an inch in to burn some things.
Working on your inner torch star.
Yep. Alright, so we got 1 yes there. So, I'd say later on we'll do a Discord poll and a TikTok poll. Yep, fireball. So we'll do a Discord and TikTok, not TikTok, Twitter. Twitter
Yeah.
poll. And see what people generally go for.
Cool beans.
And see if people are interested in that. And if so, we can make arrangements for that.
Indeed.
He seems so happy that I accomplished that. Alright, so with that being said, let us go to Fight Pen King. I have a flaming crossbow now, I need to try it out.
Do you want to dial us up a new topic on the wheel first?
Oh yes, new topic on the wheel. Or I forget. Let's see what we get! Da, 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 da. Dark Angels. I feel like you probably know more about this one than I do.
Yeah. The Dark Angels. You know, I suppose I could do 15 minutes on the Dark Angels before they come and kill me.
Fallen? What are the Fallen? What is that?
As Bricky said in his video, I'll borrow the verbiage. The keyword here is secrets. They love their secrets. They want to make sure nobody else knows their secrets because they've got a lot of secrets. Did I mention secrets?
Yeah. Another fun thing about them is they all have like this Knights of the Round Table vibe to them.
Yes, that is one of the big appeals of the Dark Angels. They, like, if you are a big Arthurian legend nerd, man, Dark Angels are the Space Marine faction for you. That is just their entire vibe. That and secrets.
Yep. And they have no problems asking some questions. Vigorously.
So yeah, basically their whole deal as a Space Marine chapter is that back during the Horus Heresy, some of them turned traitor. It's not exactly clear which half were traitors, but needless to say, the part of them that were out and about in the galaxy and the part that stayed home on their homeworld of Caliban became of two different minds on the subject. And when those minds met, it was a big mess.
Very big mess.
And there was a cataclysmic battle that left the planet shattered, that left the ones that had been on the planet, the alleged traitors, the fallen, scattered through time and the galaxy, and it left their Primarch badly wounded and needing to settle down for a 10,000-year nap.
For a short nap.
And so, yeah, now they have one of the few loyalist Primarchs active. Gilliman was the first to return, but Lionel Johnson was the second.
And Lionel is a hell of a duelist.
He is. He is one of the better melee combatants amongst the Primarchs. Though there are others that have each their own specialty. I would love to see him go, like, blade to blade with Sanguinius, for instance. But his usual sparring partner was Leman Russ, the Primarch of the Space Wolves. Because those two really had, like, a frenemy thing going on.
They both feel like, to me, like they are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, I mean, it's like two guys who are both very arrogant in ways, both very stubborn in ways, and it's just like they each see in the other what they kind of are annoyed with about themselves, and it's like, you represent my worst qualities, fuck you! And it's like, right back at you, fuck you! So, yeah, you do have that
You know what those two remind me of? This
What?
was in, God, what was it? Castlevania. Where it's like, if you two could, go long enough without killing each other, I'll go get us a wagon. And they're like, please, we're not children. And it's like, as soon as she leaves, one of them goes, eat shit and die, yes. And the other one goes, yes, fuck you.
Yes.
That's Leman Russ and his, and fucking Lionel Johnson.
Yeah, they seldom agreed on things, but yeah, it was kind of funny just how much they were at each other's throats. And yeah, Lionel Johnson has returned for whatever reason, despite the fact that he's been napping. He has aged somewhat, so like the current miniature of him that they released, if you know Game of Thrones at all, if you remember Tywin Lannister, like the dad of the Lannister clan, played by Charles. He played by Charles Dance.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he looks like.
Oh, exactly. Jesus.
Like it is kind of spooky how much he looks like Charles Dance. If you get a chance later on, before stream ends, you should really Google like Lionel Johnson miniature, because like before he was like barefaced and blonde-haired and like this perfect night image, but now he's got this like badass goatee. He's got some age lines. He's also developed the ability to walk through the warp.
Oh,
And I literally mean that in a walk sense, and it's not like in the raw like chaos stuff of the warp either. It manifests as like he essentially summons this ethereal forest that he walks into, and then that forest carries him to where he needs to go. It's almost like the Eldar Webway at his personal command. Yeah, there you go.
like that, you're not wrong. That is fucking Tywin Lannister in fucking power armor.
Yeah.
It replaced the lion with an eagle, though.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And the shield he's wearing there is the Emperor's shield. So Gilliman has the Emperor's sword. Lionel Johnson has the Emperor's shield.
Wow.
And yeah, so they have brought him back. The Blood Angels were actually involved with that whole process. There were some Chaos Demons trying to reassemble parts of the lost world Caliban that used to be their home world, to use it in a dark ritual. And they actually raided the Rock, which is the surviving remnant of Caliban that the Dark Angels use as their base.
Oh, that had to piss them off.
Oh yeah, and one of the things they had in there, the thing that the Dark Mechanicus forces wanted, was they had a device that lets the Rock essentially move through the warp. Their entire base can essentially, fly through the galaxy. And so, yeah, the Dark Mechanicus forces needed that device, and then they put back together the pieces of Caliban, their former homeworld, and did a dark ritual there, transforming it into the dark planet Wormwood, that allows them to essentially... It's like a Death Star. It's like a Chaos Demon Death Star.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's messed up.
The interesting thing about it to me, just this one weird little detail, like the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels were on their trail as all this was going on, and as they got to the system where Caliban had been reassembled, as the rock, exited warp, a bunch of systems that hadn't worked in 10,000 years started coming online, and they're like, what the fuck? And it was because it's like the rock is also a part of Caliban, so it was sensing like the stuff that it had been disconnected from 10,000 years ago when the planet was destroyed. It's like, your old servers and things booting back up and like reaching out to the internet and stuff like that, which is just a really cool thought, I think.
Oh yeah, that's like, it'd be wild, like, the cell phone you left turned off, like, when you were a teenager, suddenly turning on and going, hey, guess what, you can receive calls now.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what the fuck?
So, yeah, they basically, their old planet is reassembled, and now it's a chaos world, and they lost the device to move the rock through the warp, but since they got Big Daddy back, he is able to use his forest walk ability to attack any player with a forest in play without being blocked. No, he can apparently help the entire rock shift through the warp through that mystical forest thing, so...
Neat. That's wild.
Yeah, I freaking love it. They've done an excellent job, like, reviving things, making that really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Lionel Johnson. I honestly want every Loyalist Primarch back, because I think it's just cool when they come back.
Oh yeah, especially when some of them look at, like, what has happened and been like,
Yeah.
Like not Lehman Russ, like Gilman, when he came back,
he was bummed.
He was a little bummed, putting it mildly. He's like, I don't want to fucking deal with this.
What have you guys done?
Like, what is this shit?
There was one rule, no gods.
Not only did you fuck up that rule, you chose the one god, like the one person to become god that never wanted it.
Yeah.
It's just like, shit, man. Alright. Woo!
Ooh, I need some more books.
Alright. So... Alright, so we got a raid out here shortly.
Right on.
I feel like we're at a good point.
Makes sense to me.
Alright. So tomorrow is Wildcard Wednesday. I have tried to get DOSBox to work. So far, it has not. So I'm not of high hopes that I'll get it working tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It won't load up right. Like, either the graphics are a little bit messed up, or my personal favorite, they just crash entirely.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, fuck. So, if I can't get it working tomorrow, which is seeming likely, I will do Stepmania instead. I was supposed to do Insanity, can't seem to get it to work. I will do Stepmania if I have to. Alright?
Right on.
And I know AP is excited for that, because that's the game she picked. So that'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Alright?
Cool beans.
So you guys, make sure that you are taking care of yourselves mentally and physically. That's always important. And I know that you come to my wonderful Resplendent Tavern for the witty banter, but you stay for my fuck-ups. Alright? I hope to see you all tomorrow. Alright? Toodles.
Toodles.
Give it a second to transition. Yeah, there, by the way, there's the follower raid message. I almost forgot to share raid messages. If you're a subscriber, aka a tavern patron, there's the subscription one. Alright, now, Toodles.